Oklahoma and Texas notified the Big 12 yesterday they will not be renewing their media rights after they expire, which is not until 2025. This, of course, a critical first step in what is expected now to be the departure of OU and Texas from the Big 12. And those two schools have won each of the last 11 conference championships in football. They've combined to win 14 of the 19 in the history of the conference. If they move over to the SEC, then 5 of the top 7 teams in ESPN's preseason rankings would be in that conference, in the SEC. And so Heather and Paul join us now here, Heather Dinich and Paul Finebaum. Heather, now that they have notified the Big 12, as you told us yesterday, was a formality, they certainly would. Now what happens next?
So the next formal step in the process is Oklahoma and Texas presidents have to formally notify the SEC that they would like to join. Sources have speculated that that could come as early as today. I have also confirmed that the SEC presidents and chancellors are going to have a meeting on Thursday. It's possible they could vote on this. They need 11 of 14 votes in order to extend an invitation formally to Oklahoma and Texas. But whether or not they actually vote Thursday depends on the timing of when they get the formal notice from OU and Texas saying, let us in.
All right, so let's be very clear for everyone across the country who's not aware. The SEC, they've got presidents and chancellors, they have a commissioner, but the most powerful person in that conference is Paul Finebaum. So, Paul, I will ask the question directly to you. Do you want Texas and Oklahoma?
If I could speak for everyone, absolutely. And Greeny, because it's a morning television show on a family network, I'm choosing my words very, very carefully because this is the slam dunk of the new millennium. You've already described how important those two schools are. And you get into the SEC with the Alabamas and the Floridas and the Georgias and the LSU. Texas and Oklahoma are going to fit in quite well. Now, I don't know about the middle to the bottom of the league, but that's not really the concern right now. Everything in college football is geared toward now and the future and television rights and how much money you can bring in. And you have just added 2 blue chip stocks. I'm talking about upper echelon, Goldman Sachs all the way.
Absolutely. Fortune 500 brands that you're bringing into what is already the dominant conference, particularly in the football piece of this. So, Heather, a lot of people will look at this and they'll say, well, this is just the beginning of what is going to be a complete seismic shift. I described it as possibly the most important day in the history of college football because it feels like this is just the beginning of what is going to be a power grab. How would you expect this to go from here, assuming Texas and Oklahoma do wind up in the SEC?
Well, the question then becomes, does the Big 12 dissolve as many think it will? In the conference, they obviously want to keep it going, and who do they grab? I can tell you last week they talked on a shallow surface of what do we do if Oklahoma, Texas leave, and they talked about Cincinnati, Houston, BYU. They're all great programs, but none that obviously bring the value of Oklahoma and Texas and those brand names, right? So you've already got schools like West Virginia saying, hey, can we get to the ACC? It depends on if that's reciprocated. Probably not. But absolutely, this is going to be a snowball effect, Greeny. Not even 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I've heard all kinds of speculation, including the possibility one day down the road of a 32-team NFL light type conference. So nothing would surprise me down the road. This is only the tip of the iceberg.
Wow. Paul, your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, Heather's right. And if you're a middle of the roader in college football, you're in deep, deep trouble. This is all about the best. And Greeny, why not? How many times have we had conversations about, trying to prop up schools when they really don't belong? And this is all going contemporaneous to the new 12-team CFP. So it's perfect timing. Guess who's in the middle of both of them? Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC. And quite frankly, most of college football is going to be looking at the SEC's backside right now. I don't see a deal out there. Notre Dame's the only chip on the board that can even move the needle, and Notre Dame has already expressed its disinterest in joining a conference. Nobody else matters right now, Green.